Way back in JHS, I grew up in a hood where internet cafes were all over the place. If you remember vividly, around 2013 to 2017, it became a serious thing. You'd see young boys trooping in and out of the cafe every day. Some even slept there overnight. For me and my guys at that time, we were video game lovers. We mostly went there to download games, chat small, then head back home to play. But through that cafe life, I made a lot of friends. I was there almost every day, so people in the area knew me well. And I've always loved computers. In ICT, I was the best in my class. Because of how sharp I was, a lot of the boys at the cafe started getting close to me. Some of them were into what we called browsing at that time, the internet fraud thing. They started making me text their people abroad. Some were old white women, others were middle-aged men, and most of them were in their 60s and 70s. At that time, I was too young to really understand the seriousness of what I was doing. To me, it was fun. I was sitting behind a computer chatting with old women on Google Hangouts, Yahoo Messenger, and all those sites, and honestly, it felt exciting. I didn't know we were scamming people. After some time, I started noticing something strange. You'd go to the cafe one day and it'd be half empty. When you asked, they'll tell you the boys have gone for moves, for good luck or browsing blessings. Sometimes it was Central Region, Swedru, other times Volta Region or even Togo. I was exposed to the whole the Game Boy thing very early. I saw young guys in my area making it fast. Some were driving cars before even turning 20. Some had their own rented apartments with plasmas, or flat-screen TVs, air conditioners, and iPhones. Back then, if you had an iPhone 5S, you were like a god in the hood. You'd see them chilling, popping drinks, and living like big men. I won't lie, I admired them. I mean, how could you not? I was just a small boy who loved computers and games. Fast forward to when I got admission to Legan after SHS. That was where the real temptation started again. I met this roommate who introduced me to his group of guys, you know the type. Like hard guys and living the life. They had cars on campus, rented apartments outside school, and were always around girls. They reminded me so much of the cafe boys from back in the day, and the scary part was, they were into the same thing. Internet fraud, just upgraded. They had all the gadgets, the iPhones, laptops, connections with clients abroad. And bro, these guys were living wild. They were banging Legan girls, UPSA girls, even some nurses from Legan Hospital. Some girls knew what was going on, some didn't care. After all, as long as there was money, Uber rides, and food deliveries, who was complaining? At first, I just liked hanging around them. They made campus life look sweet. I'd go to their place, and you'd see girls cooking, and some just hanging around like it was a mini vacation home. You'd see money scattered on tables, MacBooks charging, and Bluetooth speakers playing loud music. They were living the life, bro. But deep down, I wanted to move with them. Already I had knowledge of how things worked for them, so it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't starting from zero. It was time for the boys to go for their usual moves, and this time, after thinking about it for weeks, I decided to join them. Life had hit me hard. I had lost my dad not long before, and things were really rough at home. My mom was struggling to keep us going, 4 kids, no stable income, and every day felt heavier than the last. I kept telling myself I had to do something. I wanted to get the bag by any means, so when the chance came, I said yes. That was how I found myself on my way to Swedru for the first time, to see a Malam at his shrine. 2 of the guys had been there before, so they knew the route and the rituals. They kept telling me not to panic and that as long as I obeyed instructions, I'd be fine. At that shrine it wasn't as scary like I imagined. After a few chants and rituals, the Malam handed me a ring. He said it would attract good luck and open doors when I was working, that is, when texting white clients. I didn't think much of it at the time. I just saw it as one of those spiritual tokens. But that ring was deeper than I could ever imagine. Before we left, the Malam told us we'd have to take the next step to meet his spiritual senior, that was his godfather, in Benin. That's where the real work was to be done. We were told to return to Accra, prepare for 2 weeks, and then make the trip. At that point, I didn't even care about school anymore. I used to think I was going to school to make money eventually. Now money was being brought right to my doorstep. Why would I say no? But before we left for Benin, my guys kept asking me if I was really sure. They said things over there were not for the faint-hearted, and that once you start, there's no turning back. I told them I was ready. I was young, broke, and desperate. I had seen guys who used to hang around the same cafe as me now driving cars and renting apartments. So in my head, I thought, if they did it, why can't I? When we finally got to Benin, it was late at night. We couldn't continue to the shrine that evening. According to the guys, it was unwise to go to the shrine that night because the village we were headed to was deep in the forest and dangerous after dark. So we lodged at a nearby place and continued the next morning. The road to the shrine was deep inside a forest, and before we could enter, we were asked to completely leave everything behind. They led us to a stream where we were to bath and purify ourselves before entering the forest shrine. We were given only a piece of white cloth to tie around our waist and told to walk barefoot. No phones, no shoes, nothing. That was when it really hit me that this wasn't just some internet hustle anymore. It was something else entirely. I started feeling cold out of fear, but there was no going back. Funny enough, before this trip, right after we returned from Swedru, had a strange dream. In that dream, I saw my mom, my sister, and 2 small children I didn't recognize sitting with me under the mango tree in front of our house. I didn't think much of it at the time, but when we got to Benin and went through the rituals, the priestess said the gods had already chosen and it was now my turn to make my choice. I was confused, so I asked her what she meant. That was when she reminded me of my dream, the one LD had after coming back from Swedru. She said those people I saw, including the 2 unknown children, were the ones the gods had shown me. She said those children were mine, like my unborn children. One thing they will never tell you is that in their world, every single action comes with a consequence. Their laws don't work like the ones Christians and Muslims know. So as a young guy, before you take such a bold step, you're supposed to learn their rules inside out, the same way some of us grew up memorizing the 10 Commandments or how the Muslims learn their teachings at the mosque. But the sad truth is, these boys don't care to learn any of that. They just rush in for what they want and disappear. But those places don't operate like that. So the very moment they asked me to choose between my mom, my unborn children, and my sister, whom the one I love most out of all my siblings, I panicked so badly that I even peed on myself without realizing it. I thought it was just some normal ritual, but right there, I knew things were quickly getting out of my hands, and from that moment, everything became difficult for all of us, especially me. When I peed, they said I had brought that before the gods, and because that place was sacred we had to leave the shrine immediately. It became a whole back and forth thing. The boys I went with were desperate to get what they came for, so they found a way to plead with the gods. Even with that, we had to leave the forest shrine again and go into town to buy a live hen, some eggs, and other items to beg properly. When we stepped outside, I started crying like a child, telling them I couldn't continue. One of the boys nearly beat me up. He grabbed me and shouted, asking why I was behaving like a kid when I was the one who insisted on joining them. So the thing is, before this move they had visited other shrines in the western region, some in the north, even as far as Mauritania, but none of them worked. That was when I finally understood the kind of boys I was messing around with. According to the guy who almost beat me, there was no way he was going to let me mess up their last chance, because everyone who came to this particular shrine succeeded. Like they all believed this one was a one-touch thing. How things were going, there was so much pressure on the friend who brought me along. It felt like he had brought a bitch into the group, like someone who would ruin everything for them. So he started talking me down, convincing me I had come too far to quit. He kept saying nobody was going to die and that I was the one overthinking. His explanation was that whoever I chose would only serve as my spiritual guide, because their spirit was stronger and would protect me, so when we go back I should just choose. Because I didn't trust anyone anymore. I ended up choosing my unborn children as my spirit guides like he advised, and the rituals were performed. For the 2 weeks we spent there, I had strange dreams every night. I barely slept. I couldn't sleep properly in the night cause my dreams were mostly my mom crying. Sometimes I was at a funeral but the dead person's face never appeared. Other nights I was traveling to places with no known destination. I was just scared of the whole place. It was like my spirit left my body the moment I stepped foot there. I used to think I was a hard guy, but this was way beyond me. That was when I saw how deeply people respected spiritual matters. Some people came all the way from Nigeria and Burkina Faso. There were these Nigerian ladies based in Ghana, Elmet. They were prostitutes at OSU, so they came there to make their business flourish. So if you are a guy and you have an affair with them, there's no way you'll not come back. That was why my boys never liked hookups or prostitutes. Everything finally made sense. I was seeing the world differently from that moment. None of it was a joke, and I pity anyone who doesn't take their spiritual life serious. When we finally returned to Accra, I realized something was wrong with me. For 2 whole weeks, I couldn't get an erection. At first I thought I was overthinking, so I tried watching porn, but nothing. I even invited my girlfriend over, still nothing. We kissed for hours but nothing happened. She even asked if I was okay, but I told her I just wasn't in the mood, and she was so surprised. But deep down in me I knew something was wrong, and I was scared to the core. When I confronted the boys, they told me it was probably the concoctions we took during the rituals and that it would come back after a month or so, but they were all lies. 2 weeks later my mother started falling sick, and I had to skip school to attend to her. Things became so serious, so we had to rush her to the hospital, and honestly the hospital wasn't helping too. Not knowing it was my fuck up from the trip that was starting to take action. I was still blind. I didn't even realize it was it until about 3 months after my sister's school also called my mom that my sister was also seriously ill, and now they've told her to come home for treatment because she kept complaining about serious headaches at night in the dormitory. It was there I remembered the dream I had before the Benin trip. My mother, my sister, and my unborn children. It was happening right before my eyes. And at that point it felt like all 3 of them were going to die. Because already I wasn't having erections anymore, and my mom and sister were also fighting for their lives. I remember calling that guy on the phone, weeping bitterly, telling him what was happening to me, and the only thing he told me was to go back to Benin again. I said okay, I will do that, so he should go and accompany me, and he clearly told me on the phone that he can't and that he was busy. Things were becoming very difficult, and I had to talk to my neighbor. I didn't tell her the whole truth, but I only said I felt my mother and sister's sickness was spiritual and asked if she knew any pastor. She came through and helped take them to a prayer camp. With everything happening, I had to drop out of school. I couldn't cope anymore. It was too much. It wasn't easy. I can't say it all. When I finally confessed everything I had done, my mother died shortly after. My sister's education got messed up because she stayed home for a year, and when she returned, her mates had already written worse. She's doing well now, but I don't know where she is. After the truth came out, she and my other siblings moved to live with an aunt. They want nothing to do with me because they believe I killed my mother. Life hasn't been easy. At some point I felt suicidal, but I'm okay now. I still wish I could reach my siblings because they're all I have left. Sometimes I pray things would go back to normal, but deep down I know it's impossible. I still can't get an erection till today. I've accepted that there's nothing I can do, but I still pray that one day grace will find me. As for the gang, 2 died in a car crash with their girlfriends, and that story even trended on social media. One is now battling a serious illness and another is extremely broke. For the others, I haven't heard about any yet. So it turns out I wasn't alone. It caught up with all of us. If you're reading this, I don't know what exact advice to give you. But whatever you do while chasing money, don't let it take you down this path. Romance scams died a long time ago. These boys are just hiding behind the same name now, doing deeper things. Whatever hustle you're into, make sure it doesn't end the way mine did. Peace.